from bottom feeder to number one. It's an amazing way of thoughtfully thinking, not rushing things, being willing to look at things in the mirror of ourselves. In my first marriage, I was so young. I had gotten married at 18, first baby at 19. I can't remember how old I was when we bought our first home, but um, I wanted to start to branch into that world of hospitality where you ask people to come over for dinner. And so I had invited the most lovely of couples. And they were empty nesters at that point. And my husband and I at that time had wee little ones, one of which was a baby. And I had invited them for dinner. They came over and it was horrible. It was really, really horrible. I was not a thoughtful cook. I was a throw the chicken in the baking dish and let it go. And I don't even know how long to cook it. I'll just keep checking on it. Maybe boil some frozen corn. But I loved these people. So I put myself out there. And the woman of this couple, the wife, to this day, anytime I think of her name, it conjures up gratitude. Thinking of that bottom feeder mentality, being afraid, stuck in victimhood, and in part just immaturity. There were people in my life that were absolutely fabulous, and I was paying attention. And she introduced me to grace. Grace as a woman, graciousness of how to extend that to others. And she lovingly put her arm around me, uh, figuratively, and showed me the way. And even though I was an immature little stinker, first time mom who only knew what she knew, and at times really dug my heels into also what I wasn't willing to learn, she very much loved me. And before long was inviting me and my children to her home for dinner parties or lunch. And looking back on it, um, she was showing me how it's done. She let me be the squirmy little bratty mom, and built that trust with me, allowed that time to nurture the relationship a little bit. And then very lovingly showed me how it's done, how you make an amazing dinner, how you do a multi course dinner, how you make a homemade cake, all the frosting, all of the details, how you make the homemade everything. When I share this, that doesn't mean that there aren't other people in my life who were amazing. So if you catch yourself and you've known me for a long time, please be mindful of when you start to feel that way. That because I have to do this to myself. This is an exercise I have to do with myself as well. That I have to tell my ego, it's not about you, boo. It's not about you. And so, with this frame of reference, for many of us, we have incredible mentors and people that have walked alongside of us in our life. And this is just one example of an amazing person. And there are many, many more that I hope to share in the future with all of you. But she gets this credit. She gets this credit from bottom feeder to number one. It's an amazing way of thoughtfully thinking, not rushing things, being willing to look at things in the mirror of ourselves, but also being able to, what's the phrase? Read the room, read the room. And that the willingness to read the room doesn't take away anything from us. Our ego will tell us it does, but it's not true. It's a lie. From bottom feeder to number one, be willing to learn, be willing to remain curious, be willing to allow others to show what they are good at. If you find yourself being impatient or fearful, it's time to journal. It's time to self reflect. It's time to ask yourself if you're in a safe space and why you feel that frightened. What are you afraid of? And again, I'm reminding you the only reason why I'm having this conversation is because I failed many, 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 many times. And even in relationships, when I replay the tape, I'm embarrassed, truly. And so, some of you that are sweet enough to even listen to this, and you might be one of those people that was in the line of fire at a point where I was experiencing a lot of pain in my life. Um, Thank you. And yet I still think of you. Start replaying the tape, processing, and letting it go. Bottom feeder to number one. Forgive yourself first and start to move. This is QuinnVise, showing you thoughtfully how to live a quintessential way in which there are no regrets and you can bring your children in tow.